Are you tired of having a very choppy with micro stutters VR experience, lag in the headset, you know, that immersion breaking stuff that happens all the time? Well, what if I told you that with just a few setting changes, you can have this ultra smooth, fluid VR experience with a Pimax Crystal Lite or Pimax Crystal Super on a medium spec PC. You don't need a very high-end graphics card to enjoy very fluid VR immersion. I am now in the Pimax Crystal Lite, and this is beyond amazing. I'm flabbergasted. I stumbled upon this setting just by accident, and I was surprised of how smooth everything was. Alright, now let me show you the same results, the same fluidity in VR with the Pimax Crystal Super. Alright, so we just landed in this field and we are now in the Pimax Crystal Super, the king of clarity. Wow, this headset is just amazing. So sharp. Alright, let's take off and see if we can get the same results here. The same fluidity. Alright, let's take off. Here we go. If you have a medium spec PC like I have, like with a 3080 or a 3090 or maybe a 3080 Ti or a equivalent AMD, you can do this too. You can have this very smooth, ultra sharp, especially with the Pimax Crystal Super VR experience. This is, well, it's just unbelievable. All right, I'll stop. I'll stop now, and I'll show you what my settings are and how I did this. All right, well, let's get nerdy. I get my glasses on. No, I don't need them now. All right, so I'll guide you step by step quickly how I managed to achieve this ultra smooth VR gameplay. Well, first of all, step one, you need DLSS Swapper. I think many of you already have this tool. If you don't, all the links to all the tools will be found in the description below the video. Right, you download and open DLSS Swapper, and you go find here in your game section, you will find Microsoft Flight Simulator. Now, if you go down here, you will see all the DLSS files that are available. Now, we want to have the latest one, 310.4. If you don't have it, there's a down arrow to download it. And then you come back into your library, you click on the game, and then here you're going to change your DLSS driver file to the latest one. So you click on the latest one, you click swap, and it is done. Now I'm going to cancel it. And then also for DLSS frame generation, if you want to play in 2D, you swap that one as well. And then FSR 3.1 for, you can change this one also to 3.1.4. Right? And then if you are on the latest Nvidia driver, I'm on a different driver, but I will tell you that later and why that is. You can set here your desired preset. It says, well, you won't see it, but now it's set on preset K. That's the one you want to have, okay? The next step is, let's jump into the Nvidia app, and then we go into system, and I will show you my rig here. So the tab, my rig, I'm on Windows 11 Pro, and I'm using the Game Ready driver 566.36. This, in my view, is still the best stable video driver for 30 series cards, or maybe 40 series cards. So if you have a 30 series card, try this this driver 566.36. It will give me the lowest VRAM usage, and I never had any issues with it. I tried the latest driver, and I got a video driver, hung driver error in the sim, and then I went back to 566.36 and it never happened again. So I always try the latest video driver, but I'm always reverting back to 566.36 because for me that works very, very good. Now you see I have two monitors. I've got the Samsung ultra wide 4K and I got a AOC monitor 1080p. Now if I go to my displays here, I'm running the sim on my 1080p monitor. So the mirror, the VR mirror, will always also show on this monitor. Meaning that my VR mirror will not be displayed in 4K. So that's, well, less work for the GPU to run it in 1080p. Because I want all the power to go to the VR headset. Now, next, if we go to the graphics. Now, let's go first to the global graphics settings. Because I'm running on 566.36, I cannot change the preset in here. If you are on the latest Nvidia driver, you can set this one to preset K in here and use also the frame generation to the latest available. I got low latency mode on. Image sharpening is now off. I did a video about sharpening any game, and then you can use the image sharpening as well. It's not necessary for the Pimax Crystal Light and the Crystal Super because they are very sharp, and I use a different kind of sharpening in OpenXR Toolkit. I got the power management at maximum performance available. It's also in the program settings, and virtual reality variable rate super sampling is on adaptive. Now if I go to my program settings and then choose Microsoft Flight Simulator, we go all the way down here. You will see low latency is on, image sharpening is off. Monitor technology is on a fixed refresh rate. I've set my monitor on 100 Hz. And then power management, maximum performance, and VSync is on. Right, so if you are using a Pimax headset, the Pimax Crystal Light or the Crystal Super, you might have noticed that if you go into PimaxPlay and you use the Pimax OpenXR, that when you spawn into VR, you are either outside or sideways or always finding yourself in a different position than in the cockpit or sideways in the cockpit. So what I'm using is PimaxXR from Matthew. And you can download PimaxXR here, and then you have to install it. Choose the latest version, 0.44. When you do that, and you open the companion app, now for the Pimax Crystal, let me see, this is for the Pimax Crystal Super. All I did is here at the top, recenter headset on startup. So this will put you in the correct position and correct facing in the cockpit. Disable the Play Space Guardian and then allow use of eye tracker, Pimax Crystal or other ones. I have disabled quad views now here in PimaxXR runtime because I'm using foveated rendering in the sim, which will come later. Now for the Crystal Light, I'll just keep the eye tracker on because there isn't any eye tracking in the Crystal Light, but hey, it doesn't matter it doesn't hurt to keep that on. And then I'll just enable quad views. Now to get the quad views, you need to download the quad views from companion app you can download quad views from here, and then you can also download the companion app from Telemouse. And that will look like this, and those are my settings for quad views. So 33%, 32, -10, 150 for overhead resolution of native resolution, and then peripheral resolution 20%, foveate sharpness 80, and transition thickness 30. Those are my settings that I've chosen for the quad views. Because when you're running PimaxXR, you cannot use the quad views in PimaxPlay because it's on a different runtime. Does that make sense? All right, now let's jump into PimaxPlay. All right, now we open PimaxPlay, and as you can see, this one is for the Crystal Super. And from here, we're gonna open the device settings. Once the settings are open, you go here to device, you can check for an update. I'm on 1.0.8, that's the latest one. Room lighting frequency, set it to auto 60 or 50 Hertz. We have 50 Hertz here in the Netherlands. Refresh rate at 90 Hertz. This is screen time out. My brightness, I lowered the brightness around 52% because that's bright enough for me. Otherwise, it was just too bright. And believe me, the Pimax Crystal Super is really bright. You can change the colors here. And I enabled eye tracking in here. Auto IPG adjustment is off, and I've set it to my personal IPD. So that is set, so it won't change over time. Then we go to the Games tab. Now, in here you can set your FOV on normal, or you get the large, that's the test version. And this is 140 degrees FOV, but we'll keep this one now at normal, and that will give us a 27 degrees field of view. So the image quality, I set it to customize, and I'm at 0.55. That's pretty low, but with a medium spec PC with a 3080, this is high enough. Otherwise, you're gonna cook your GPU. I don't use GPU upscaling, and I don't use the sharpening in here. So as you can see, quad views, because I'm running PimaxXR, I cannot click here on quad views. But what I did enable is the Pimax Central Priority Rendering to Quality. Smart Smoothing is off, lock to half frame rate is off, and Hidden Area Mask is switched on. Now in the General tab, you will see that the OpenXR runtime is now PimaxXR, and you can also bring it back to Pimax OpenXR. Now here in the advanced settings, you can do anything else, but I checked pass-through if I have to look for something on my desktop here. So that is for the Pimax Crystal Super. Now let's go to the settings for the Pimax Crystal Lite. So first we're gonna click here on device settings. And we'll pop out this window. So also here device information. Headset firmware version V1018. You can check for an update right there. Room lighting frequency, again 50 Hertz here in the Netherlands. Recline mode is off. I'm on a refresh rate of 120, or you can choose 90 Hertz. 120 gives me a little bit smoother movements, head movements in the cockpit. Right, and then you got your screen timeout, your IPD. You can set that manually on the headset. And that's it for this one. Now go into your Games tab. All right, so image quality, you can customize it. I've set it to 0.55, the same as for the Crystal Super. I can go to 0.6, but 0.55 is still good enough for me, especially when I'm recording for YouTube. Upscaling, sharpening is not used. I cannot check the quad views in here. And I have the Pimax Central Priority Rendering set in here. So for the Pimax Crystal Lite, I need to enable the quad views in the PimaxXR runtime. So if you're using the Crystal Lite, you want to make sure that you have downloaded quad views and the companion app from Telemouse. And then in the PimaxXR runtime, enable quad views. That's for the Crystal Lite. So the priority rendering is set to quality, smart smoothing is off. And if we scroll down, the hidden area mask is also enabled. All right, so we go to the general tab. You see, we're still using PimaxXR. And in the advanced tab, you can set the pass-through. Before we start up the simulator, we want to make some changes to the user config file. So open your user config file and scroll down here where it says foveated rendering scale and set that, if you are on sim update 3, to 0.40000. So just change the 5 into a 4. Then you scroll further down and then you see the primary scaling VR. Set that to 0.8 and the secondary scaling VR to 1.0. And then go to File and click Save. And then we can open the simulator. Alright, so now we are in the sim and let's go to the settings in here. I'm still on sim update 3. So when you go to VR, it's the second tab here. You can see that I'm on DLSS Super Resolution in performance mode. For the Crystal Lite, foveated rendering is off. And for the Crystal Super, you just have to switch foveated rendering to on. Now, because I have the Crystal Lite connected now to the PC, I switch off foveated rendering. Sharpening here is off. And then my max frame rate, and here comes the trick. Switch that one on and set it to 30. So cap your frame rate at 30 FPS. Reprojection mode is off. My world scale is 115. And I'll show you why that is 115 in a minute when we go into the OpenXR Toolkit. Nvidia reflex low latency is switched to on. Dynamic settings is switched to off because I'm using AutoFPS. And then the global rendering quality, well, terrain level of detail and the object level of detail will be managed by AutoFPS. You can see I set my off-screen terrain precasing to ultra. The rest is all medium. And high settings, plants are low, rocks are off, grass is medium. And I will scroll through this. So anisotropic filtering is 8 times, and that's more than enough. And the rest is all medium to high settings. Okay, so we are now in VR, and as you can see, I got the Crystal Lite here in front of me. So let's put this one down and switch on the OpenXR Toolkit. Right, so here you can see it. From here, if we go down, overlay is off. You can choose your FPS or advanced or developer. Let's switch this one to off for now. Upscaling sharpening, I'm using CAS sharpening at 60%. Fixed foveated rendering turbo mode is off. Record statistics is off. Now we go to the appearance, post-processing. I changed the brightness and some colors in here and highlights and shadows. Did that to my likings. You can copy those settings if you want to, but that's what I have. Go to inputs, nothing's changed there. And go to the system tab. Now with the Crystal Lite, I use my override resolution and I've set it to 2400 by 2840. This will give me a sharp image, but also a good enough performance. And then here are some color corrections. The field of view, you can leave it at 100%. If you want to gain a few FPS more, you can also change it to 95. As you can see in the image, that the field of view really changes. It's getting wider here, and at 95% it's just a little bit narrower. But this will result in a slightly sharper image in the headset and also gain a few FPS. So I'll leave it at 95%. It's still very, very good. And the rest is all off. And then here is the menu for the menu. Right, so this is the view of the Pimax Crystal Super. And as you can see, it's a lot wider FOV. 126 degrees. So let's open the OpenXR Toolkit. And I've changed the webcam settings because otherwise it will overlap with the menu. Let's go to the performance tab. So all the same as for the Crystal Lite. So these are all the same. You don't have to change there. Appearance is still the same. Inputs the same. Now for system, I have to show now the override resolution set to no. Colors are still the same. And I have changed the field of view to 95%, like with the Crystal Lite. Now if I go to 100%, you see I get an even wider view. But it's very important if you are on a mid-range PC, you want to gain as much performance as you can get, so without losing quality. Now the Pimax Crystal Super is very sharp, but we are on a lower end of the render scale, 0.55% or 0.55, 55%. So when lowering your FOV, you will get some more sharpness back. And it's only 120.7 degrees field of view, which is still very, very wide. In comparison with the Crystal Lite or a Quest 3 or a Reverb G2. So yeah, this will work for me and also probably for you. And then the menu, this is all exactly the same. The other tool that I'm using is AutoFPS, as you can see here. And these are my settings for AutoFPS. So target is a VR, and then 30 checked on top. Expert option set. Flight type is now VFR. And the auto method in the expert option is FPS cap. So that's why it's now capped at 30 as well. And then the T-Lot base is 70 and T-Lot top 150. Especially when you go for low flying, you can increase your T-Lot on top and then set all the other stuff accordingly. And also auto object level of detail is ticked, and object level of detail at base is 80. That's fine for me. Especially if you don't want to do the backcountry kind of flights. So you can change this for any flight that you do, of course. But that's what I'm using. So I'm capping the frames at 30 FPS in sim and also with AutoFPS. Right now it says 25. That will change because I'm now recording, and when you're flying, it's capped at 30. It's perfectly smooth. So don't mind the 25 that you're seeing now. Even with 25, it's still very smooth, but that's because of recording. Right, thanks. Very special thanks to Pimax for sponsoring the channel and also the video. If you are thinking of switching to a Pimax headset, now Pimax is offering a huge deal till the end of this year. So how do you do that? Well, there's a link below the video for the Pimax Crystal upgrade event. So how does it work? If you want to upgrade to a Crystal Lite, you can receive up to $100 savings of your upgrade. If you want to
upgrade to a Crystal Super, you will receive a premium gift bundle including the Pimax DMS audio solution, the DMS speakers, and free prescription lenses powered by Hans VR. So how does it work? Well, you have to submit your headset info, get it reviewed, and then order with a discount. So how do you do that? You click here on Submit Now, type in your name, email, country, Discord, where do you use it, your current PCVR headset, where did you purchase it, a serial number, and then a proof of purchase. Upload a picture of the original purchase proof. So you can upload it here. And where did you hear about this event? You're going to click here, you're going to click YouTubers, and you're going to type in my channel name, VirtuSim. There you go. Submit for the terms and conditions, and then check my offer. So, and then you will receive the special discount code linked to your email. Now you can also, once you order it, you can also then enter my very special code VirtuSim gift, and that will give you a mystery gift from Pimax. I don't know what it is. Could be something, could be a faceplate, could be something else. I don't know. That's a mystery gift. So, thank you for watching. If you want to upgrade, use my discount code. And there's always also the other discount code that you can use, and that's just VirtuSim, and that will give you 3% off. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you like this video, and see you in the next one. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, and have a good weekend. Bye for now.
Check the mic and make sure it sound right, boys.